Hey everybody, welcome back to Play the Hits. Max Spoopy October is over, and we are back with some Final Fantasy VI.
All right, feel like it's been a while.
Sure as shit has. Let's go save Sid.
And then there was Celeste.
How you doing there, buddy?
Just Celeste.
I'm not long for this cruel world. Oh, shut up. You'll be fine. Alright, so we need to catch the fast fishes, right?
Yeah, which I think at first they're not going to give you too much until you get one or two fish.
Okay.
So I think you just got to grab that one.
Come on.
So you're electing to save Sid?
Yeah, if we get some really bad RNG, though, and they just don't give us any fast fish, I'm not going to, belabor it.
Okay. I mean, the story is better if he dies.
Oh, yum, chomp, monchu. Oh, my worst nightmare to think of you alone. Hackwheeze.
That's just like his little twitch.
Like, man, you know,
I don't want you to stay here forever. Hackwheeze. Oh man.
Right. Come on.
I think every once in a while you might have to talk to him as well.
For fucking real though? You're kidding me, right? You're just not gonna give it to me, huh, game? My worst nightmare.
And he'll almost always get close to death. Like, he feels like he's not getting better, but then he will.
Okay, this one is faster, right? This one in the middle.
Yeah, I think the both are probably good fish, but they're not great fish.
Right. Do I get any progress by giving him good ones, or should it be all great?
No, you can give him good ones for sure.
Okay.
I mean, maybe there's no progress.
Oh, shit.
But I think you'll keep him alive.
Okay. Is this basically like forcing me into killing him? This kind of sucks.
If I want him alive, I've never failed at it. Sometimes
I might be about to fail, though.
Nah, you can go a while.
I guess.
You might have to talk to him. Yeah.
Nope, he's dead.
No, he's. Wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude.
Wait, what?
Yeah, dude, I straight up tried and failed. I've never had that happen before. Whatever.
Neither have I. That was quick. That was so quick.
Yeah.
Unless it's like, aw.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
Unless it counts instead of time, it's the amount of times you enter and exit the screen.
But they didn't give me any fish. Yeah.
Exactly. If that's the case, what could you have done?
Right. I mean, not the biggest deal in the world. It kind of sucks, but I mean, at least we get to see this scene, which is pretty iconic too.
It is. Also, you saved him from a life of boring island life.
Yeah, right. If he lives, they never do come back for him, do they? he's just on this island. Does he give me an item though?
He watches the airship whiz by. No. There's absolutely no.
Okay, there's absolutely no reason, gameplay-wise, to keep him alive.
No, there isn't.
Okay.
It's just extra sad. But like you said, a very iconic scene that you kind of miss if you keep him alive.
We sure do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all right.
There you go, viewers. This is your gift.
Yeah, you're welcome, everybody. My shoddy
Most people
performance.
are probably gonna save him.
Yeah. That's a first for me though. You're right. Usually if I want to keep him alive, I can keep him alive. That was I joked about bad RNG, but that's straight up what happened.
You totally got bad RNG.
Yeah, the game just
RNG was not kind to you.
No, he wanted Sid in the fucking ground.
Also, that was quick. I think Sid already had some pre-existing conditions there.
Yeah. this particular Sid, he was sick before the world of ruin. What are the odds of Celeste washing up on this exact same island? I mean, granted, the tides probably aren't doing much these days with Kefka having fucked up the world, but...
Yeah.
Wait, the bird nursed her back to health? That's a... Dude, I'm gonna fucking keep that bird, Right?
Yeah.
That bird's coming with me that bird's gonna be my faithful sidekick, man. I'm gonna name that bird.
It's my familiar for life.
Yeah, right. That bird's name is Charlton or something. Thanks, Charlton. Oh man. Yeah, it doesn't matter how many times I play this game. Like, it's always... Like I said, even stuff that, you know, kind of happens randomly or happens in a different way than I was expecting. It's just worth revisiting because it's such a great story, and it really is timeless. Like we were talking about with the Resident Evil games, you know, there's very few games that come out there's lots of good games right now, but very few like really timeless titles. This is a timeless title.
Oh, for sure.
Now, like, what are some of your favorite games that you can just come back to like every year and just give like a casual playthrough and it's still every bit as good?
I mean, aside from this, A Link to the Past is definitely them.
Yeah.
Even though, you know, there's story there, but I think it is just very much, I know the ins and outs of that game.
Yep, same.
It's a good one. Super Metroid's another one like that.
Yeah, and you know, that's what I was going to say. A lot of those games for me, it's probably just because we grew up in this era, but for me, they're all Super Nintendo games, you know? Or maybe like early PS1 too, but...
Yeah. There are some games that are newer that I will replay every couple years.
Mm-hmm.
Like God Hand is another one.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I just get the itch for
newer.
that kind of gameplay. Yeah, really newer. Not that new.
20 years old, Max.
There's not a game. There's not another game like God Hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not just talking about how crazy it is with the shooting people into the horizon and whatnot.
Yeah.
But just really that over the shoulder kind of Capcom style. But instead of shooting, it's like a kind of a clunky beat 'em up.
Yeah, I can.
But there's something about getting good using the constrained mechanics of that game and conquering it that I really like.
Right. It's entirely possible to die in these fights, so I'm gonna bail.
Yeah, bail until you get more people. Yeah, seriously, when they take an eighth of your health, fucking frog.
Yeah, just
tadpole even.
Get Saban as quick as you can, right? Let's put her in the back row. Yeah, so...
It's funny,
yeah, go ahead.
Seeing the Distant Worlds concerts. I don't know if have you ever been to one of those?
No, I haven't. I really want to, but...
What's kind of sad is all the concerts I'd see, Nobuo Uematsu was usually there himself.
Oh, dude, really? You've seen Nobuo Uematsu?
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome, man.
I've never paid for the VIP ticket. I have a friend who has.
What do you get there?
I think you meet him. He can sign some stuff. If he has
fucking way.
Seriously,
dude, I would bring my Japanese copy of FF6 up and just have him sign that.
He's so, I don't know. I mean, I get maybe kind of the typical. You think about Japanese, like what they exude and just very very
just
kind
like the polite, gentle genius kind of. That's how I picture him.
But he was, so it's like Arnie Roth is like the American guy who like directs the orchestra that travels for Distant Worlds, and then Nobuo Uematsu would usually come out and they would introduce him and he might answer a few quick English answers.
Yes, very good. Yes,
stuff like that. But then he would also
super nice. Yes.
every once in a while he would take up an instrument like piano or something and play along for a song or two.
Oh,
it was really
man.
cool. And Dark World was one of those songs where he might get on the keyboard and do the whole something like that.
That's all you're getting for your money. I'm sorry.
But it was always really cool to see. He would have his little like bandana on, like I don't know, he was just gonna clean the house or something like that.
Yeah, man, I would lose my shit.
It was, I don't know, it was always a treat. So it's kind of sad not seeing him anymore. The last Distant Worlds I went to, he wasn't there.
I might survive this. Oh, good, they're gonna flee. Yeah, dude, that would be amazing. I would absolutely love to attend one of those sometime, and maybe like if I do, I would consider like how much are the VIP tickets?
The VIPs were usually like, I mean, you get like a, not a great seat, but you could get like a pretty good seat. And then with the meat and everything, the whole package would be like $150 or maybe a little bit more.
That's
not
affordable.
Crazy.
Yeah, no, not over the top crazy, especially for getting to meet like one of my personal icons. That'd be. Yeah,
and I kind of regret that, where it's just like, why didn't I pay for it? Like, if he ever comes back to Chicago and it's him, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna fucking join you. Like, let me know if you hear about that, because I'll be
for sure.
I'll be on board, man. We'll make a special trip out of it.
Because I could see myself I could see myself getting emotional. I mean,
yeah, me too.
It's fucking Nobumatsu.
And like with you, like I would love to do that, particularly with you, because you would understand why I'm getting emotional.
Yeah.
Like we could just like weep openly in front of this poor Japanese man.
Yeah. It'd be like, you have to understand. The games meant so much, and the music was obviously a huge part of it.
You know, I'm willing to bet we would not be the first people who have told him that either.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. And I hope.
Do I not know any Aura spells with Celeste?
Aura? Oh, Auras.
Oh no.
Shit. Really?
I don't.
I mean,
I don't even think I have
you have all the
her.
Magicite.
Yeah, I don't think I have any Magicite on her though.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Shit. Dude, I am woefully... Like, there's a difference between playing this casually and just, like, being totally underprepared, and I'm underprepared.
That's true. You're underprepared.
Yeah, like, I know I keep saying that between episodes I'm going to do a little grinding, but I'm actually going to do it this time. Because, holy crap, this is bad.
Yeah, the World of Rune's going to wreck you, man.
Yeah, dude, it is already. And I'm, like, barely...
Alright, first of all, do you have stuff equipped?
Like, let's get Medu in here, and...
Yeah.
I do have some gear on her.
Okay, good.
Do I have any relics on her? Yeah, okay.
Okay. She
All
kept
right.
those on.
So she's survivable, but it's not good. Man.
There we go. Is this a monster? No.
Which one is a monster? Do you remember?
I think it's the one down here, but I think you want it.
I think you
Whatever.
Look at how you're dressed, man. You want it.
Whatever it is, I think you... Can you... You can't run from any of these, can you?
Can you or no? I'm not sure.
I don't think
not,
so.
but I think I will after this one.
That kind of doesn't make sense at all. You'd think you'd want to all of these?
Oh my god, really? I was hoping that would wipe him out in one go.
Yeah, I mean... Wanted to beat Terra's dad, but he kind of sucks.
Yeah, man. He's not the best.
Oh, maybe you can run. Or not.
Oh, man. Oh, I suck!
Yeah, the auras would be good.
Oh my god!
This is... I think the scorpion's gonna get you, man.
But for real. Okay, thank God. Holy hell.
It really dragged that out.
I'm not gonna get anything else here. I'm just gonna rescue and get the hot. But fuck those scorpions, man.
All right, I'm gonna see what treasure there is because I'm getting this feeling in my gut that you're.
That I'm gonna miss something important.
So we'll see if it's really that.
You know, I think it's one of those two there, or no, I don't know.
6.
Fuck scorpions.
We're gonna see what the treasure is.
Yeah, go for it. Collapsing house treasure.
Let's see. Ether, Magicite Shard, Blood Sword, and a Hyper Wrist. I mean, I don't. What is the Hyper Wrist? Like Strength plus something?
Well, I'm doing at least one monster in a box. Okay, these guys aren't bad though.
Nah.
These guys are not bad.
This is either the Hyper Wrist or the Blood Sword.
I'm hoping Blood Sword because I really don't need the Hyper Wrist.
Yeah, and the Blood Sword's unique.
You would think the Blood Sword would be like in the final room. That would make sense, right?
Yeah, I think that's what this is. Yeah,
oh my
I think
god, come on.
This is the only place you can get it.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
That just takes a while.
Sure does. All right, but after this, we'll get out of here because I'm just gonna run away from everything.
Yeah, they're starting to die. Oh, they just die like that.
Yeah, they just took their time dying. Okay.
And nothing? Damn it.
Oh, really? Does it say which chest it is?
Let's find out. Okay.
Maybe down here? I'm going for it. Blood Sword, there we go. Cool. We got it. We're out of here.
Yeah, let's go.
We're gonna bail. So going back to our previous conversation while this filler part's taking place, yeah, what you said originally, Link to the Past, you probably noticed that when I booted up the SNES Classic here, my cursor was set to that. That's because ever since Man, it must have been maybe like the 7th or 8th grade when we went to the lake house and you beat Link to the Past.
Yeah.
Like with me for probably the first time that I've ever seen it played front to back.
Yeah.
I've been having like annual conversations with that game. That like in the way that we talked about like getting emotional with meeting Uematsu, like I get emotional over that game. Like I don't just play it, like I commune with it. Like it's every fall around this time of year, I just boot it back up, and maybe over the course of I don't like rush through it. I take my time, so it's maybe like a week or two, but I play a little bit of it each day, and just maybe like a dungeon a day, and it's just like this ritual that keeps me grounded, basically, and very few games have the power to do that for me, and that is one of them. But like you said, FF6, FF4, Super Metroid, Chrono Trigger, you'll probably notice that most of these come from Squaresoft, but they're like almost exclusively Super Nintendo games, with the exception of maybe Ocarina of Time.
That's another one I was going to mention.
Final Fantasy 8, strangely enough. Out of the PS1 trilogy of games, I recognize that it's not the strongest of the three, but it's the one that I probably have the most connection to, is Final Fantasy 8. I don't quite know why. There's something about that game that just resonates well with me. So let's see here. We got Sabin. Thank God he's at level 25. Oh, thank you. All right. Now we can actually put up a fight against some of those boys.
Outside of, because like you said, Super Nintendo, that was just developing years, especially with Squaresoft when they were at the top of their damn game.
Yeah, and not only that though, like the console itself is, and again, this is partly nostalgia talking, but but not so much. It's like the perfect console. Like the graphics were in that sweet spot where like it wasn't all about like the mind-blowing graphics, but like I pop in a game like FF6 or Chrono Trigger, and like I still think this is a good-looking game. Like
they are.
NES games didn't age in the same way that 16-bit graphics did.
16-bit's always gonna look like,
they're not like blow your mind like photorealism, but they are super charming and just like well done.
Yeah, and they're at the point where it's like you really understand what's going on, and that wasn't always the case with NES.
There was real artistry taking place in the presentation for the first time.
Yeah, for sure. Not to say that didn't happen with like older, like the NES.
No, but you're right. It couldn't be.
There's so much more freedom here.
Right, like 8-bit graphics and lower just couldn't communicate like the vision of the developers in the same way that this game does.
Yeah, they had to. Obviously, on the SNES, I'm sure they had things, of course, but with the NES, it was all about compromising.
Oh yeah, like, you had to.
That's why Mario has a mustache. Why Link has pointy ears. Like they had to, with the pixels, you could only do so much to communicate what's going on or how.
Finish up Asuna with him.
But these games really hold up visually as well. Not even just talking about how fun they are. And then N64 games do not. And PlayStation 1 games do not, like some of those games look straight
and you
up
might
terrible.
You might disagree with me on this too, but I think PS2 games really do not as well.
That's true. Most of them, unless it's like, I don't know, Okami or something, where it is more about just the
or
art
Wind
style
Waker or remake, like where they used like clever devices to overcome some of the limitations. And then like for the first time with the PS3, and even then like PS3 games show their age, but again, the ones that were
I can't say any of them were ugly.
No, like the black and brown shooters, like I didn't care for when they were new.
It was all about black and brown shooters.
It was. That was like
good point.
That's probably why the PS4 is so refreshing to me, because for 7 years, like the kind of games that we liked took a back seat to these black and brown shooters, and I just was so frustrated for the longest time there. A lot of what we liked was
like in the indie scene.
Yeah, I was really not a fan.
The indie scene wasn't great. The indie scene's also evolved and gotten a lot better, which is nice.
I was not at all a fan of the PS3 generation of games. Like, don't get me wrong, there were some very good games that I very much enjoyed. But they were so few and far between compared to the generations before them, where like, you could give something like a random rental and just strike gold.
That's true. Everything on the SNES, it was at least good, or it's like, oh, this is interesting, this is worth playing. I'm glad I played it.
And we were so young that if it was bad, we really didn't know it was bad. I mean, it was like there are some games now that I could look at on the SNES and think, boy, what a bad game. But there was like in the era before like the internet really took off, you know, everything was just like this new and exciting experience, and it was just kind of like playing the lottery. You know, you could walk out unknowingly from your family video with one of the greatest games ever made. Like
you wouldn't know
it was yours for the weekend. Yeah, and you wouldn't know it just because it was all fresh, you know. And that's part
was
of
exciting.
Yeah, it really was, because you know, you had Nintendo Power and a couple of other publications, but really like games would just show up on shelves one weekend and you're like, oh, I guess you know, Yoshi's Island just came out. Let's give this a try. And holy shit, this is one of the best platformers, not just of the Super Nintendo, but for the next 30 years they would be trying to duplicate what made that game so great.
Oh, and that's another thing, is it was just it was an era of fresh ideas, you know. There were still things that were like new. And that's like, oh, by the way, this is completely new, or hey, we just invented a genre here.
Right. And
that doesn't happen so much these days.
Which brings me back to the PS3, because that was almost total stagnation of ideas from 2006 to like, I would say maybe around 2013 or so. It was just, let's try to duplicate what all of the big brand guys are doing. And man, I'm kind of glad that I was so busy with college and like growing up during those years, because if like the sheer quantity of like really awesome titles that we're getting now had come out during those times, I probably would have failed a lot of my like college courses and whatnot. It's almost like that had to be because I would have fucked up my life.
There was a few really good games, a lot of which I didn't even play. And from that generation, there was the Mass Effects, which were fantastic games. There was the Arkham games, you know. But for most, those were few and far between.
They really were.
For the most part, it really was.
And I know, I'm sure that there's a generation of kids, you know, like for
that's
them,
their SNES.
Right, that was their SNES, was the PS3. Oh man, remember how great the PS3 was? Yeah, we used to play at my dad's basement or something like that. And you know, there'll be kids that grow up with that stories that hear what we're saying and think we're just like old morons.
Like,
and I get that, but for me, like, that was the weakest like 6 years in console gaming.
Yeah. And it's weird because Sony was trying to embrace like the weird and creative things, and they were trying to put money behind, but it just wasn't really coming together. You know?
It was not.
It was mostly the big budget titles. Were kind of the only things that were somewhat enjoyable.
And that's the thing too. That was also all that was really selling, because you kind of got the birth of, you know, up until 2006 or so, gaming was kind of like this niche hobby that we grew up with. Like, you were a nerd if you played video games, and you know, it was kind of this like subversive counterculture. And that's kind of still how I think about gaming. And don't get me wrong, I love the fact that it's so mainstream right now that the kind of titles that I really enjoy are getting the AAA treatment. But at the same time, it was really lost when you kind of introduced bro culture into gaming. Like, all of a sudden, you know, the guys who picked on me in high school were playing Call of Duty, and they were calling themselves gamers. And I'm like, no, dude, you don't get to fucking have it both ways. You don't get to fucking, you know, make my life miserable for 4 years until I lost some weight, and then also adopt my favorite hobby. Like, or no, like, not even adopt. Like, adopting would be like, there's some camaraderie there. But like,
no, it's like they're wearing the hat just because they want to.
And they brought like this toxic culture into it of like anti-feminism and like you know, like that kind of 8chan culture that you see now,
giving
like,
gamers a bad name, which is like, we were never about that, you know. And here's the thing:
not the gamers I grew up with.
They're allowed to do that, and they're allowed to have their hobbies and even you know, play games whatever they want. But I totally understand what you're talking about.
You're right.
Like, I get that.
That's why I don't play really online games, because that's a problem that as of yet remains unsolved. Like, there's this toxic masculinity and like toxic aggression that goes into online gaming. And I even if I enjoy the game itself, I don't feel like being a part of that because, you know, like mental health wise, I don't want to submit myself to that when I'm a grown adult and I don't have to. You know?
I get being competitive.
Yeah.
Which gaming was never about competition for me. It wasn't about being competitive. The only competition was with myself. I wanted to surpass myself and get better at certain games. But it's okay to be competitive. It's just like it's
if it's like a fun, you know, like
it's like I can't lose, or this is terrible if I lose, and they put so much stock in it that they get aggressive.
Right. Or like, you know, if I lose, I've got to verbally assault the person that beat me, or you know, make the game less enjoyable for them. And again, that's not all like the jocks or the bros that came into that, because, you know, there's assholes in every subculture, right? There's good jocks and there's asshole jocks. There's good gamers and there's asshole gamers. But I feel like the advent of online gaming and like this kind of Call of Duty movement has kind of put that at the forefront, because lo and behold, that's the kind of gaming that attracts those personalities. Yeah. And unfortunately,
it doesn't help that's like the highest selling franchise there is.
Right. And unfortunately, those really vocal communities, they're the ones that get the most attention, and as a result, the PS3 era was defined by those kind of titles, which, you know, I'm not crazy about in the first place, and was even more turned off by this new culture that sprung up around them.
Yeah.
And really nowadays, like, those have really taken a back seat to kind of the looter shooters and the, what would you classify like Dota and,
like League of Legends and
League of Legends, like like what are those? They're like kind of
like games of service, I guess.
Yeah, right. Those kind of mishmash
and competitive games. Yeah, and it's kind of a lot of the force, I guess, or a lot of the movement where that's gone. Obviously, the Call of Duties and stuff are still extremely popular.
Yeah,
but they're not making the numbers that they were when they first. And like PS3 era, like I guess Black Ops 1 was like the highest selling, or maybe it was like Modern Warfare 3,
something like that.
It's like the highest selling Call of Duty, and they've kind of gone down a little bit since then.
Right.
It is very much if you're talking about the just above casual gaming, because there's like the casual gamers, and then there's just above that is like the Call of Duty people and stuff.
Sure.
And
yeah, they wouldn't still be making them if they weren't selling, so that's fine. But thanks be to God that we like actually have options now, you know, and that's
not only do we have options, but like you said, the AAA treatment is going to these great fantasy games, these open world games.
Yeah, they're going back to like kind of flexing some creative muscle in gaming, and I could not be happier about that.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of like the culture that I yearn for, is like what I described. Oh, that's right. Lightning heals him, not hurts him. That's really what I yearn for, is kind of like that 90s scene of gaming where, you know, it was kind of like you in the game, or you and like some friends who enjoy the same kind of games that you enjoy. There we go.
Yeah.
Annihilated. You got just Pornhub.
You suck, Tara.
Yeah. Fuck you, Tara. I like how Celeste was like literally just gonna like leave town until she saw Tara. I'm sure the kids will be fine.
In this era, it was kind of like the Wild West when it came to gaming. I mean, not in a quality sense, because the games were quality, but it was just like, it wasn't like, oh my god, we need to make this looter shooter type of game. That's what we want, a game of service. This is what's successful, you know. Right. It was like, here's our idea for a game. We're gonna make this RPG. Here's our idea. We're gonna make this platformer.
Right.
And it was just, you had your sequels, but you also had a lot of games that were just original and
just experimental. Yeah. Like let's see what connects, because like publishers really, they were kind of defined by their genres. Like if you popped in a Squaresoft game, you were pretty much expecting an RPG. Like that was what you were gonna get, like from them. And Capcom, you were probably gonna get like a really good like kind of licensed IP platformer. Though Capcom also
or
tried
a
their
good
hand
like
at the
beat 'em
RPG.
up or something.
Yeah, or beat 'em up, right? Or Konami. Yeah, Konami. You were gonna get a brawler, right?
Yeah.
Konami and Capcom kind of competed for different quarters of the action market. Nintendo was all about like the solid platformers, and well, I mean, Nintendo was already kind of like trying their hat at like we are the kind of Disney of gaming. Like we'll transport you to all of these different like really creative worlds.
Yeah, they had a lot.
They
still do,
and now they have even more. Like you could almost like exclusively play Nintendo and get a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of going back to. There's a large exchange of ideas,
right.
You know, with this generation, and indies are a part of that. But even if you take indies out of the picture, I feel like the developers are doing a really good job of bringing a good variety.
They certainly are.
And just tonally, and just how they play. There's a lot of variety, and then the indies on top of that just make it again a huge market where there's a lot going on, and honestly a lot more going on these days than there ever was in like the Super Nintendo era.
Right. Well, indies have come, like you said, they've really come into their own in this generation. They've gone from kind of like like these little like dime a play, like 2-hour experiences to like fully fledged titles and properties in their own right. Like they're really good.
A lot of these indie games.
Am I gonna lose this fight? I'm gonna lose this fight, dude. Like,
you might need just one more hit or something.
I'm clinically underleveled right now.
But a lot of these indie developers, some of the bigger ones, AA games, I would consider. You know?
Right.
Like something like Katana Zero or
lost to fucking Punbaba. You kidding me? For real?
Yeah, so Terra dies and it's no biggie.
Yeah, Celeste and Sabin dies, the world's over, man.
Might need to do some leveling there.
I'm almost thinking, like, I'm so underprepared. I think, let's call the episode here, because I'm gonna like actually grind this time. And next time I play the hits, we're gonna like actually come into these fights prepared.
Yeah,
and
Baba's gonna fucking get it next time.
Yeah, he's gonna pay, and we're gonna like actually give the World of Ruin a proper go. And so next time begins in earnest, like getting the team back together and like the really fun parts of this game. So
yeah, Celeste, Sabin, Edgar, Sid.
Yeah, I'm calling it. Next time, at the very least, we're getting the airship. So.
Okay. Sounds well. I mean, Daryl's Tomb's kind of big, but I think we can do it. We can do that.
Considering it's still pretty on rails until you get to Setzer.
The airship.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot to do with Edgar, and then Daryl's Tomb is big, but so it might be 2 episodes before we get the airship proper.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm gonna power level pretty good here. So. All right, man. Hey, next time on Play the Hits, we'll give this game the treatment it deserves.
Sounds good. All right. See y'all then.
See you next time, buddy.